Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Today is going to be the Dewy and Balmy blush video. This is the second video in this series. The last one was all about glowy blushes. And as always, if you have a favorite blush in this category, please leave it down in the comments so that everyone can learn from you and what you know. So let's get right into it. I want to start with the most dewy blushes and then work on over to balmy blushes that aren't necessarily dewy, I guess, depending on your skin type. So let's start with a very dewy blush. This is from M Cosmetics. This is the Serum blush. I have the shade Venetian Rose. These have been out and kind of touted as being really, really beautiful for quite a few years at this point. Now, despite being very dewy and serumy, these blushes are actually quite pigmented. You don't need very much. I might even have used a little bit much, but these are stunning. When you compare them to other like serumy blushes, there is honestly a difference in quality. These are just nicer. They have more even pigment. The dewiness is just more perfected looking, and they also just don't disappear right away despite the dewiness. Yeah, I still have a whole bunch of that left on the back of my hand. Lots of pigment there, but I hope that you can see the finish on this gorgeous blush. I keep getting texts from them that this blush is on sale right now, 20% off. I hope it still is when this blush video goes up. On this side, I want to show you another very dewy blush. I've been testing the Jones Road Miracle Balms this month. So this one goes in the category of both dewy and balmy. I want to show you the shade Chic. I feel like this one might be easier to show you on camera. It has a little bit more pigment than some of the other ones. So I actually got a compliment while wearing this the other day. I really wasn't expecting it. It's a very no makeup type look, but it really does add kind of a juiciness to the skin that's kind of hard to get with traditional blushes, even ones that are dewy. There, I mean, you can see I kept adding and it's still very sheer, but it does have some color. And again, I hope you can tell how incredibly dewy and balmy. This is probably the stickiest. It's not a very good word when it comes to makeup, it seems, but this one will not set down at all. It will stay just as balmy as when you first put it on. So if you have problems with, you know, hair sticking to your face, if that really bothers you, or if you like it go up to like scratch your face and you don't enjoy feeling something like on your skin, this wouldn't be a good choice. However, I really think that people with very dry skin and people who prefer a no makeup look will find this to be kind of amazing because the effect on the cheek, it cannot be denied. It's really, really pretty. Oops, I forgot to pin back my hair, which I wanted to do when talking about dewy blushes. Let me do that real quick. All right, let's talk about this stick blush from Pat McGrath. This is the Legendary Glow Color Balm. It is a very balmy stick and it is very glowy and dewy. Dewy, not glowy, I should say that. And I have the shade Paradise Peony, which I know I just showed this to you actually in a summer blush video. But this is definitely one that belongs in this video as well because it will not set down, it will stay dewy, and it has that really nice balmy consistency as well. Yeah, very, very easy tonight. Very, very nice. I'm gonna add just a little bit more just for the color's sake. And on this side, I like to show you another dewy stick blush. This is for the Nudesticks line called Nudies Bloom, and this is what they call the all-over face dewy color. Sometimes blushes that are labeled dewy, I feel like they lie. They're not dewy. This is telling the truth. This is a dewy blush, and you can tell it's got a little bit more of a stickiness to it in comparison to the one from Pat McGrath. Like it's not quite as balmy, but it is definitely dewy. And this was the shade Cherry Blossom Babe. So I want to show you that these are very dewy. Okay, now let's talk about some very balmy blushes that I think could be dewy depending on your skin type and what other types of makeup you wear with it. But in general, especially compared to those other blushes I just showed you, these are on the balmy side, but not dewy. They're not going to stay sticky. First up, I want to show you this one from Merit. This is called the Flush Balm Cheek Color. I have the shade Beverly Hills. This is a really, really easy shade to wear for my skin tone. I mean, just look at how nice and sheer and natural looking that is. And just takes a few taps of your finger to buff it out and you're good. I mean, just look how natural looking that is. I'm gonna add a little bit more color. So looking at that, it does look pretty dewy, but this is a much more thin formula than those ones I just showed you. So this does not feel like I've got a ton of product sitting on my face. When I touch it now, and I barely have put it on, so it hasn't really had time to set down, it does feel a little bit dewy, but it doesn't feel sticky. So this type of balm is a lot more approachable for more people. It's just so easy to work with. And that honestly can be said for the rest of the blushes I want to show you. I want to show you the Lip to Cheek from RMS. I have a few different colors in this little blush quad. I think I'm going to show you the shade Lost Angel, which is this one. I'm always showing you the shade Spell, so I'll show you a different one today. So again, we're talking about a very natural looking sheer balmy blush that you absolutely can build up, but it's not going to leave you feeling super sticky like the Miracle Balm will. I feel like I'm really talking down that Miracle Balm. I liked it. It's just definitely not something I could wear every day. So that's what the Merit looks like. And this is the RMS. All right, sticking in the balmy category, we have blushes from Salt, New York. I think I want to show you my favorite one. I was sitting here staring at them. Which one am I gonna wear? This one is my favorite one. This is called Maple. So I just really got in there, and that is what it looks like on my finger. So you can see it's very nice and sheer, quite melty and balmy, very easy to work with. I really just enjoy this genre of blush. Oh, you see just how nicely that melted in. Oh, it looks so beautiful, so natural. It doesn't really feel like you have anything on your face. Maybe a little bit, and yet not excessively dewy. On this side, I'm going to show you an oldie but a goodie. I don't think I've featured this blush in quite some time. These are the cream blushes from Milani. Now, the ones that come in the single compact, they're very similar formula, but they are more pigmented. There's something about the version in this little blush palette where there's a little bit more sheer, therefore, I think, a little bit easier to work with. I'm just going to use this first shade here, and these are more pigmented than the Salt New York. In fact, besides the M Cosmetics, this might be the most pigmented blush in the video, even though this is more sheer than the single compact version. But you see how easily that went on. So these last blushes that I've shown you, they all have the same thing in common where they're quite thin. So even if you put on a lot of layers, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of makeup on your face. And they have a beautiful kind of natural, I don't want to say dewy finish because they're not dewy like those other ones are, but a nice, beautiful, natural finish where if you were wearing it in combination with a lot of other dewy products like dewy highlighter and dewy foundation, 100% these could go with a dewy look, but you can also tone back the dewiness by doing the opposite and wearing powders and such. So here's the Milani cream blush, and this is the Salt New York. All right, so I do a quick breakdown for you. If you want a very dewy blush, but isn't sticky like a lot of the balms are, try the M Cosmetics Serum Blush. If you have very dry skin and you're looking to add some dew back to your complexion and you don't mind having something that does not set down, my #1 recommendation would be the Jones Road Miracle Balm, followed by these two. These will both give you a very dewy cheek. Pat McGrath Labs Legendary Glow Balm and the Nudesticks Nudies Bloom, the dewy version. If you're after something nice and balmy and sheer, but not necessarily dewy, you could try the Merit, the RMS Lip to Cheek, the Salt New York, or the Milani cream blush in the palette. Now there's a lot more cream blushes out there, a lot of which I own that I almost put into this video, but I felt like they didn't quite have that balmy, like truly balmy consistency I was looking for. I will eventually have to do another cream blush video. I think I'm gonna call it like a classic cream blush where they're not as balmy as these ones I showed you now. They have a little bit more heft to them, but that's kind of what disqualified those from showing up in this video. I really wanted to stick to the super balmy ones, or the dewy. All right, even though I'm wearing two different blushes, I don't know if you necessarily could tell the difference if you just looked at me. So I'm just gonna leave it and go about the rest of my day. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys know that I love to geek out about blush, and I love it when you join in with me. Again, please share your favorite dewy or balmy blushes in the comments. And thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. I'm drinking something a little different today. I'm about halfway through my iced matcha latte, but I'm trying a different kind. So it is from Jade Leaf, which is a brand that I've tried before, but this is the strawberry matcha latte. I tried it hot and I really didn't like it. So for me, this is definitely an iced beverage, and it's still different, but I can sometimes get behind it, I guess. Definitely not for you if you're a matcha purist, that's for sure. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again very soon in the next one. Bye.